Hey everyone, Travis here at the Roccat house over in Cologne, joined by VandeR of Roccat. So just doing a bit of a profile actually on some of the players and teams. And VandeR, you decided to, you said you'd talk to me. So love to talk to you a little bit just about you and Roccat. Maybe starting off with how you got into video games. Like at what point in time did you start playing video games in your life?
So I remember when I was small kid, my parents bought the first computer. I was like 8 years old then, and I had like one game. It was with some bunny or something, and yeah, it was my first video game. But like some serious, like let's say competitive games, like I think Counter Strike was the first one I played. I was watching the non-Polish team like on the streams and stuff. So yeah, it was like the first contact with the esports.
How old were you when you started playing like Counter Strike and stuff?
I think I was like 14, so it was like 6 years ago.
So you're 20 now.
Yeah, I'm 20 now.
And when did you start actually like competing? Like, was League your first game where you actually competed, or did you ever play any Counter Strike or anything like that?
You can say like serious competing is like League of Legends. Like I was playing a bit Dota and Counter Strike, but it was like nothing serious at all.
When did you start playing League of Legends?
Mm, it was like I downloaded the game when the Xinzao was released, so I don't really remember
Yeah.
when was it. It was like 2 years, maybe a bit,
Maybe 3 years even.
maybe 3 years. Yeah.
And then when did you start? So about 3 years ago you started playing League, but when did you start playing League competitively? Like, did you join like a team, or what was that situation?
My first team was with our coach. It was Veggie, and he. I know. Actually, my first team was like it's Alsen team, and I was there with current like ex MYM support Libik. I was playing KD carry back then, so it was my first team. It was like 2 years ago, I think. So 1 year after I started playing the game at all, and yeah, it like then I played with Veggie, and now I'm here.
Now, was that like online ESL tournaments, or did you go to like any lands at that time?
I played some Go for LOLs, like EU Go for LOLs were the like biggest tournaments at that time, and it was pretty much only and tournaments, so every team was playing it back then.
Now, what was your first LAN event?
My first LAN event, it was some Polish. I think it was in a small city near Krakow. I went there with the Delta team, with Veggie and Selaver, for example, and I think we were third, and we won like really small prize pool.
Okay. Now, at what point in time did you join up with the guys that would later become Roccat? Like, how did this team really form?
Yeah, so as I said, I know Selaver and Veggie for a really long time. Then Zazus was the guy who was playing. He's playing long, and I knew him from solo queue. Then Overpo, he was like famous Dota and HON player. So I knew him a bit, but not personal. And like Jankos is the only one who is not like known, and he doesn't play the game long at all. So he's the only guy that he wasn't that familiar with others.
How did you guys meet him?
Um, in the Tenerife, there was a Tenerife LAN event, and he went there with GF team, I think. Uh, okay.
Yeah, Lil.
Yeah, it was Lily event, and he was like third place there, but he gave a good performance, and we started to know him then.
Now, one of the things that really stands out to me is the fact that Roccat is a like pure Polish team, right? Like all five of you guys are Polish. You look at a lot of the European teams and they have, like a French, like you look at maybe Fnatic, right? French dude, Spanish dude, couple different guys. Is it just a coincidence that you guys all happen to be Polish, or is this like a testament to like the Polish gaming community where you guys just sort of, it's really close knit and that's how you guys found each other?
I don't know. Like I was playing in a few European teams before. I was like playing also in Polish in Europeans, and Then there was like DreamHack Bucharest event, and over Pousazo and Selaver with playing with two other guys, but they like just before the event they said they can't come, so they needed a replacement, and they just took me and Jankos. So we were like most of the known Polish players at the time, so they thought it's best to add just Polish guys to the lineup.
You guys, do you feel like there's a difference in the fact that you guys are pure, like a full Polish team, as opposed to some of the other European teams that have guys that speak a bunch of different languages? Do you think that that helps you guys at all?
It depends. Like if someone has trouble with communicating in English, then it definitely helps. I think it's like maybe the mindset we have all the same because we are from the one country and like let's say it's all a bit common, and I think it helps personally.
Like around what time did you guys start? Did you become Roccat?
So first we played like under H2K.
Okay.
It was in September for the DreamHack Bucharest event. Like we didn't play even one game before the tournament. As I said, like two guys dropped just before the tournament. They needed a replacement. They took me and Jankos, and yeah, we just came there and we won the whole thing.
And so after that, you guys have pretty much had that since then. And what was your path to getting into the EULCS for those that aren't familiar?
So yeah, after the DreamHack Bucharest, there was the qualifier, first online qualifiers. It was like 2 months long. We beat some teams. Like first was the group stage. First you have to be in the ladder, like top 8 in the EU West. Then you battle the EU East teams. Then is the group stage of the 8 best teams and the playoffs. And then we got the seed. Then was like a group stage of 5 best challenger teams.
Right.
We were third. And then NIP picked us just because we were third in the bracket.
Right.
So they thought we were the weakest team. And we beat them and we are in the LCS now.
So this is still kind of a pretty quick turnaround for you guys because in September you guys played this tournament, having never really played together before. Suddenly you were in EULCS. Was that a surprise to you, or were you just sort of confident going into promotions?
After the DreamHack Bucharest, I thought we were a really strong team. Like we played a lot and we were beating most of the LCS and challenger teams. But after that, Jankos had some problems with school, so he was like for 1 month he was barely playing, like only some scrims and not even every day. So then like our form like got down a bit. We started playing worse, and just before the qualifiers, like we had 2 weeks of the boot camp all together. So yeah, we were playing all day, you can say, and yeah, we got back to the shape from before again.
And was it a strange feeling for you guys to get into EULCS, or did you expect it?
I thought like both SK and NIP were the hard opponent to play. I thought the MIM was like the easy one, and then those two were the hard ones. So I couldn't say like I was sure we will get in, but I knew we had a great chance. Like I thought we were a good team, and like NIP was a bit overconfident, and I didn't think at that time they were that great, but yeah, I knew they were good.
Now you guys get in, and then it's very funny because I think teams make it into the LCS, and the fans are like, okay, they're in, and then they just sort of wait, for the next split to begin. But what happens behind the scenes for you guys? Like, suddenly you knew that you were going to be in the EULCS. What was it like for you guys to, like, in those moments afterwards, like even the couple of weeks?
Yeah, so it's like we couldn't believe at first that we are in, and like there's a big difference like in life and stuff because now we live in Germany all together. So it was like we had to get used to it at first. But yeah, we are really happy, and I think we knew what we are going to do.
What have you guys learned? Because it's still been kind of a short time for you guys in the EULCS, not even a full split. What have you guys had to learn in that time about competing and being in the LCS?
Okay, so what I learned, like, mm, the most important thing is how much you practice and how much you are dedicated. Because even if you are good and then you stop giving your best for some time, then you can just go down. Like you can see from our perspective, like we're doing really good. Then we didn't play that much anymore, and like we're still training, but not as hard. And yeah, we started to fall down a bit.
Yeah, what was the deal with that like crazy run that you guys had at the start when everybody was riding the Roccat hype train? Like, what allowed you to succeed so well? Was it just teams didn't have you guys figured out, or were you guys just like full of energy? Like we're in the LCS now, and you just use that to slay all your opponents.
I don't know. We were just playing, and we just picked our champions. We just played the game like we want, most likely safe, and like we just played like we just controlled the map and stuff. But like lately, I think we just did too much individual mistake, like someone getting off, someone's like not hitting the skill and stuff. So I think we just were losing because of the individual mistakes most of the times lately. But yeah, we have to fix it.
So you don't think that this is a situation? So you guys think that maybe you guys aren't playing as well as you did at the start of the season? You don't think it's a situation where other teams have gotten better than you or have figured you guys out?
I think it's both. Like we are not playing as good as before, and other teams started playing better. So we just have to overcome them, and I think we can do this. It's not about figuring out, I think, because like you can know what this guy is playing and stuff, but like figuring out is not the most important thing, because even if you know what he will do, you still have to beat this guy.
Looking at these teams that have been around in the LCS for a really long time, teams like Gambit, previously Moscow 5, even Fnatic, what do you guys now a newer team, what do you look at in those teams and maybe wish that you could have in Roccat at some point in time?
I think Fnatic has strong individual players, and like even if they have a bad time, they still can come together and fix it and do really well again. You could see like last split, they were like doing fifth place, then they came back to second, and after the tiebreaker and the playoffs they won the whole thing. So they can come back, and let's say Gambit, they are playing really good as a team. I think they're not as strong as individually. Like I think only Diamond is like I think Diamond is the best jungler, so he's really good. But others are not as good, but they still can. They know how to play together.
Right. So maybe like if you could, you'd try to grab some of like Fnatic's ability to rise every time they have a hard time, and maybe you were saying Gambit's like teamwork is just a really good thing.
Yeah, like I'm not saying Gambit is bad individual, but they are not like the greatest.
Right.
And still, if they come together, they are like one unit, and they can do really good things.
Yeah. Looking at Roccat in the future, I think that there were a lot of people who, especially at the start of this split, saw you guys as heralding in like this. Oh, suddenly this new team comes and they start kicking ass, kind of like what North America saw with Cloud9 and the second split. Do you think that that's a future for you guys, where maybe you push some of these guys like the Fnatics and the Gambits and the now alliances even that have been around for a while, you push them down and you guys come up and are number one, number two for a while?
I don't know. It's really hard to say. Like Europe has really a lot of great teams, and the level is really even. So for me, it's really hard to say where we are going to be and how good we are, but I think we should be like top 4.
Okay. What about Worlds for Season 4? Are you going to head to Korea, VandeR?
Yeah, I would like to. Yeah, like there are a lot of great players, so it would be a pleasure to meet them. But it's still a long time to go. A lot can change.
That's a very good answer. Hey, thank you so much for the interview. I really appreciate it. This has really been a great insight into Roccat. So thanks again, VandeR.
Yeah, thanks.
For everyone else, you can check out the rest of our coverage of the EULCS and all things esports at onGamers.com.